Hi guys, so this is my summary report of Chapter 4, Agency Law. So the first thing I want to cover is how agency relationships work and what authority agents have. So here is the quote. Next we focus on principles of agency law, including establishment of the agency relationship, authority of agents, and duties against agents must uphold. Then move to an analysis of agency contracts, followed by an in-depth look at the regulation of player agents. The focus then shifts to the analysis of contract law, criminal law, and tort law disputes involving agents. The chapter ends with a discussion of the future of sports agency. Although agents are involved at literally every level of the sport industry, player agents are the focus of regulations, disputes, litigation, and most of the analysis within the industry. So why I chose this quote on page 70 is because it talks about agency law encompasses so many different aspects and how agents are involved at about every single level of the sports industry. And another reason why I chose this quote is because it literally just went over every single thing that I read in this chapter. So boom, 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 boom. It is an overview of everything that we have learned during this chapter. So now let's look at the function of a sport agent. So, negotiating contracts, negotiating concession agreements with concessionaires, representing an organization in negotiations with sponsors, advertisers, and media outlets, representing an organization, athlete, or coach in negotiations with endorsers, entering the team or organization into events, entering into contracts with security, ushers, merchandisers, and other associated things with games and other events, managing the relationship with outside entities, including community organizations, facility boards, and charitable foundations, conducting estate tax and financial planning for athlete, coach, and organization clients, securing investment and appearance opportunities for the athlete or coach, working as a conduit between an athlete, coach, or organization in developing an internet presence or marketing campaign. So this list is on page 71. I chose this once again because an agent does so much more than just negotiating an athlete coach's contract. It went from the presence of an online to looking over the contract into security and ushers and making sure that all goes right. Once again, a agent is a jack of all trades, and they do so much more than what people think. So to understand the nature of this relationship, we're going to look at the principles of agency law. So here's the quote. The restatement defines an agency as the fiduciary relationship that arises when a person, a principal, manifests assent to another person, an agent, that the agent shall act on the principal's behalf and subject to the principal's control, and the agent manifests, assents, or otherwise consents so to act. Restatement third of agency numbers. In simpler terms, agency refers to the relationship between two parties in which one party, known as the agent, agrees to act as a representative of the other party, known as the principal. Of particular note, the agent should act for the benefit of the principal and subject to the control of the principal. So I chose this quote, which can be found on page 72, and it goes specifically into agency law and what an agent is defined as. And I think that's really important because when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, we know that agents do so much more than what we think. And when it comes down to it, the agent should always be doing what they're doing for the benefit of their principal. So, the duties of agents and principals within the agency relationship. So, here's the quote. Agency law refers to the law that applies to and explains these situations and specifically defines the rights and responsibilities of both principals and agents, the authority of the agent as she works for the principal, and the creation of the agency relationship itself. This relationship between the agent and the principal is governed by law and bears further examination. This is also on page 72. I think it just shows that agents they're agreeing to this relationship, and so is the principal, and they are expected to meet these expectations, which the agent fiduciary's duty is to make decisions on the benefit of the player. So here's the next quote. The most scrutinized career for an agent is representation of athletes. The highest profile athlete agents represent athletes in the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB. Some agents also represent athletes within virtual all other sports as well, including boxing, motorsports, tennis, volleyball, soccer, and swimming. Athlete agents might work alone and represent a stable of clients, like well-known agents Scott Boras in baseball or Drew Rosenhaus in football. But athlete agents also work for larger companies like Octagon and IMG, in which groups of agents, lawyers, marketing representatives, and others jointly represent multiple athletes. Athlete agents generally focus on helping their client find teams to play for or events to play at. Some agents also represent athletes in dealing with media, advertisers, sponsors, event organizers, and authorities. An agent must be a jack of all trades, understanding more than merely how to get an athlete a position with a team. Because of the extensive knowledge base needed, many agents have advanced degrees in law or business, and many professional sport unions require certification of skills and registration for any agent who wants to represent their players. I really like this quote on page 81 because you realize in every sport there is an agent or agents behind each great player, and these agents cover more than one athlete, or they're doing one or two more jobs. These agents are truly jacks of all trades, and it clearly shows with their extensive background and what they're able to do for these players and the athletic organizations. So that is my summary report for Chapter 4.